All right, so we can start here. This Sweet 16 matchup from over the weekend. When the ball is just moving around like that off the second chance, it's not getting kicked back out to the perimeter. We can stay down. We don't have to jump up to try and block that shot. Uh, Kyle Filipowski in blue here. It's off the rim. They have a second chance. They're not kicking it back out to the perimeter. It's just getting sort of pinballed around here in the lane. This defense, if you're going to go straight up from here, just wall up, put your hands up, make him finish over you, that's going to have to be good enough. We can live with him making that shot over us at this point on the second chance when the ball is pinballing around. But just leaving your feet and going for the block is not the right play here. Just stay down, stay on your feet, make it a difficult play. Don't give up an easy bucket. On this one, it's going to be Jamal Shed pretty much reading Filipowski and putting him in a bind. We get two guarding the ball off the screen here, which means Filipowski's guarding two on the backside. He's got the tag guy here, and he's got to stay home on his own guy. So we're going to attack him, see what he's going to do. Is he going to go on this roll guy? Is he going to stay home? Is he going to step up to defend me? And I get Mark Mitchell to clear out. I'm able to get a step on my primary defender. Straight line drive, Filipowski, I'm reading him. And then I've been playing with Francis, my teammate, on the baseline here all year. I should know by now that if this lane here behind Kyle is enough room for him to get to the rim and get behind him, I can just throw it up there for him. Good timing, good use of changing speed, and then just going at 100% speed once you decide to. So it's a similar read to what we just saw on the other end. High ball screen, trying to get the ball in a scoring spot. But this is KYP. KYP, know your personnel. So we got straight line drive here for Duke, and Francis is stepping up. This is a dunker spot. Like, it could be a lob, but KYP, you got to know your personnel. Ryan Young doesn't have the same athleticism as Francis here for Houston. So the way that Jamal Sheck can just flick it up here for a lob attempt over the top on the backside, right on the baseline, Duke kind of has to take a different route, and a bounce pass here would probably allow Francis to get back in front. It would have to be a lob at this point, and he doesn't have the athleticism to go up and finish it. So that's knowing your personnel, knowing the limitations and the capabilities of your teammates, and then just doing it yourself. So although this is a very slow possession, it is still in transition. And if you've watched the channel before, you've seen anything from this account, you'll know that one of my big things is that when we're in transition playing defense, you don't have a man. You're not guarding a guy. You're guarding the rim. You're defending the paint. And you'll see no one in white gets back to do that. No one in white gets to the paint in defensive transition, and we give up a look right at the rim because of it. What I really like, though, is Filipowski is going to switch sides of the court with the ball and get the defense to rotate. It's always a good idea, but the main thing here is that no one gets back on Ryan Young on this possession. All right, so Duke's going to get the switch here up top, and Filipowski's got the mismatch. I want you to watch Jamal Shed. He got injured in this one. Obviously, is a huge part of what Houston did this year. And what I mean by that is that this dude literally had the ball on every possession that Houston brought it up the court. And without him, their offense and their team was not the same. But this defense right here, he's going to be, you see the ball's just being caught by Jeremy Roach over here, and he's already getting over here to help because he knows Cryer's got the mismatch. So just he's reacting on the pass, and that's kind of what I wanted to highlight here. He's reacting on that pass right there, and then he's in good position to deter Mitchell from throwing it over top. And then we're good. We're matched up. So we're going to see this Duke player, he's going to go ahead and cut off this drive here, and I do like that cut. You see there is a passing lane opening right here, and he's going to fill that spot right here. You could also stay spaced, though, and just stress the defense a little bit more with shooters on the backside. Then we'll have two guys who are spaced out being guarded by one rather than a little bit, cluttered and crowded in the lane. But regardless, Mark Mitchell just doesn't execute. He keeps his head down when he puts it on the deck and then forces up a bad shot. So either option, either staying spaced or cutting, wouldn't have worked here because Mitchell turns it over. But, yeah, it's good defense from Shed right here on this reversal pass to hop to the lane, be in position, That pass might have been able to get there anyways. It's two real small defenders. But Mitchell's going to go ahead and force up a bad one. And let me preface this with LJ Cryer is the only reason that Houston remained in the game after they lost Shed. But he's not doing enough defensively here. He loses sight of the ball. He doesn't really know that Proctor's looking to come his way. And when he gets through the screen here, he's not ready. He's not anticipating a pass. He's not in the passing lane at all. He's behind the ball. And then, so he literally has to, like, close out. This is basically a closeout at this point. And then his closeout isn't good enough because this right foot, and it needs to be higher than the ball handler because he just allows him to go right to his left and get right to the middle of the floor. So he needs to anticipate the pass coming his way through that screen a little bit more. It's just a little lackadaisical. And then the closeout isn't good enough because he doesn't get high enough to keep him out of the middle. Just like at this point, you need to sprint all out to try and force the ball into the corner. Keep the ball in the corner. You don't take his top side away, and he just beats you right to the middle. All right, so this is Raymond Walker switching out of Jerry McCain here. And if you're guarding a right-handed player, you got to know he's trying to get back to his right. And what I want to point out here is that Walker is a little bit behind the whole time. Like McCain's already spinning back to his right. But he goes to poke the ball out, which is not what you want to do at this point. You're kind of already giving. If you were just to go contest the shot at this point, start moving to your left and try and put a hand up, you'd probably beat his jumper up. You'd probably beat him getting the shot off. But we go for the poke, and we just remain a step behind. We're behind, and then we play like we're behind, going for the poke, and then not ready to make the next play, not anticipating the fact that this right-handed dude is going to try and score the ball with his right hand. All right, a couple things to go over here on this Houston possession. First being this ball screen. You don't really attack off of it quick enough. LJ Cryer, great bucket. But this right here, we allow Filipowski and Tyrese Proctor to kind of close this passing lane. Like, you see how they're so close in proximity to each other that this passing lane isn't there. And that's because, well, it's because we don't attack off the lane, but the reason we don't attack off the lane is the spacing is bad. We could probably get this ball a little bit further in the corner to get just a better angle coming up off the screen, set my guy up a little bit better. It's a good screen regardless, but the spacing back here is not great between these three guys in white. Let's get Roberts into the paint. Let's get Manuel into the corner. And then up top, we got to get to the wing here. Just be a little bit more spaced out. Jeremy Roach isn't in such a good position to defend me coming off this ball screen if we're spaced out better. And then I can attack right off of it, get Kyle to guard me, and then force a more difficult recovery to his big. This is just too easy of a recovery because we're hesitating here. We're hesitating. We're letting his man we're letting the initial defender get back in front of Cryer, and Filipowski doesn't have as much room to recover to because we're not coming off of it very fast and we're decisive because he's in help spot because we're not spaced out well. So all that kind of leads to a great play here from LJ Cryer, but I just think it could have been, made easier.
All right, a couple things to go over here on this Houston possession. First being this ball screen. We don't really attack off of it quick enough. LJ Cryer, great bucket. But this right here, we allow Filipowski and Tyrese Proctor to kind of close this passing lane. Like, you see how they're so close in proximity to each other that this passing lane isn't there. And that's because, it's because we don't attack off the lane, but the reason we don't attack off the lane is the spacing is bad. We could probably get this ball a little bit further in the corner to get just a better angle coming up off the screen, set my guy up a little bit better. It's a good screen regardless, but the spacing back here is not great between these three guys in white. Let's get Roberts into the paint. Let's get Manuel into the corner, and then up top, we got to get to the wing here. Just be a little bit more spaced out. Jeremy Roach isn't in such a good position to defend me coming off this ball screen if we're spaced out better. And then I can attack right off of it, get Kyle to guard me, and then force a more difficult recovery to his big. This is just too easy a recovery because we're hesitating here. We're hesitating. We're letting his man we're letting the initial defender get back in front of Cryer, and Filipowski doesn't have as much room to recover to because we're not coming off of it very fast, and we're decisive because he's in help spot because we're not spaced out well.
Yeah, it was not pretty here for Houston down the stretch. It's pretty much just reliance on Cryer and four other guys standing around. Not a whole lot of off-ball movement or screening to get open or running to open spaces. Just a lot of standing, a lot of dribbling, and eventually they poke it out. Okay, here's the next possession now, and it is a little bit better. They get Juwan Roberts on the elbow in the high post. They're able to get him the ball after running off him. But these are your two, most dynamic offensive players on the court. Two of them, three at least, and they're, again, just standing. Cryer can either go behind the ball and try and find some offense over here, get Proctor closing out, and then rip baseline, or rip middle, and try and find something, or just interchange with Sharp on the backside here, get something going, make this defense work a little bit harder. These guys are just able to stay home and stand right next to you and guard you without having to worry about this because we are pretty good right here. Okay, so it's the last possession of the game. Both teams with an opportunity to go to their benches because they got to figure out the clock off the out-of-bounds call. And there's 9 seconds on the clock. It doesn't necessarily have to be a catch-and-shoot three. I don't even know why it would be a catch-and-shoot three. You see whiteboards out on the Houston bench. I figure Kevin Sampson has something to draw up here. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just one pass and go. We can get a ball screen. We can set something up here with 9 seconds on the clock. And you'll see on this inbound, Duke has all their guys guarding the corner. And there's 8 guys right there. So my intuition would tell me that we were trying to get that look to the corner and maybe Cryer another look. But everything's going on in the corner and Duke is just not allowing it. So eventually Sharp has to get it in over top, and then we're going 7, 6, 5, step back, and it doesn't go. So I don't know if there is a better way to get, the only other thing you could do is maybe, since Duke has it all covered, put the shooter here, and then screen for the corner out this way, and then screen for the shooter coming up this way. Get a decoy to the corner because everyone just went there, but easy to Monday morning quarterback that, obviously. Here, I think the call would have been, let's just get the ball in and then set something better up. It doesn't look like there's really any plan. Physicality a big factor all night from Tennessee in this game against Creighton in the Sweet 16, but we'll see on this possession right here. First, it's Meshack. Watch Meshack through the lane, number 15. Being physical. If you're not going to let me cut to where I want to go, I'm just going to run through you. And then Ziegler, again, they're just hitting guys through the lane, making them feel you through the lane and think about it. So he's going to hit 2 guys right here, Meshack the first time, and then Ziegler's coming through and bumping him. Pretty embarrassing transition defense from Creighton here. Just no communication and no defensive intensity in transition, no a sense of urgency, no commitment to winning. Anyways, loose ball here, kind of broken play. We got 2 guys running out to go guard Knecht. And then you'll see that we're just not communicating. We got 2 guys running to the ball here. So we're going to try and go here. And then we got 2 guys running to the ball here. And there's someone open the entire time just because we don't communicate and have a sense of, let's stop them from scoring. Not good. So right here, this is going to be Mason Miller guarding Josiah Jordan-James. He's going to go guard to guard to sort of help out on this Zakai Ziegler straight line drive. But, at this point, when you land, okay, your job's done. You've cut the ball off. You can let him get back in front. This is called, stunt and recover. You stunt at the ball and then you get back. He just waits here too long, and then we give up an open 3 look. He doesn't really stunt. He gets in front, and then he takes too long to get back. Right, one more step, you've done your job. If he doesn't get back in front now, it's on him. We also got Kalkbrenner in the lane, I'm sorry, that might not be Kalkbrenner, but yeah, you've done your job. Just, you got to close back out. Yeah, not much to say here, just no communication. One guy thinks they're in man, the other guy thinks they're in zone. Coach is like, oh man, how did we do that in the Sweet 16? They just are not on the same page. This is going to be Trey Alexander guarding the ball. And when you're in this position, don't just sit here and wait to get screened. Either get up and press up on him or get underneath it and make him shoot it. All right, depending on what the personnel is, KYP, you got to know who you're guarding, know your personnel, know what the scouting report is. You got to make a decision before he can just attack. Don't just sit here and wait to get screened. You hear coaches talk all the time about how important the first 5 minutes of the half is. It's a 2-point game right here. We get back-to-back turnovers from Kalkbrenner. It's a block on the backside. Watch Ziegler sell out, though. This is in transition. Ziegler's the last one back. 2 guys close out on the three-pointer, and then Ziegler just sells out to, affect him any way he can. A massive size advantage, obviously, but it allows Jordan James. And then we get out in transition. We're going to get out in transition on this back-to-back. 2 turnovers, don't connect. Then dump it off to Meshack. And then one more out in transition here. And now the lead is up to 6. It's up to 7. It's about to get stretched out to 9 here. And, yeah, that happened in about a minute. So Gonzaga, a team that likes to feed Anton Watson in this short roll. And against a team like Purdue, who's got a big who, he's a great player and one of the most dominant in the country, obviously. But he's immobile, pretty much. And against a team who's got an immobile big, the short roll should be open. So Anton Watson with 14 points in 31 minutes in this one. And he's got his first bucket on a great find here through the lane. So we're going to see Ryan Nembhard get caught sleeping, get caught ball watching on this possession, and then he's got to run through 2 screens to recover to get Lance Jones on the perimeter, and just never able to get there. So on this action right here, you need to be more in the line, up the line, in the stance, seeing ball, seeing man. You lose sight of your man, and you don't react to that pass either. So you lose sight of your man and you're not reacting to the ball reversal. You should be more shading towards the elbow and the paint at this point because you're more than one pass away, so you're in help. You lose sight of your man, you're a step behind, and then you got to fight through 2 screens, and we can never recover. So Lance Jones gets an open 3. So unfortunately, I got to tell you, this is going to be Ryan Nembhard's second straight 3, giving up at 6 points in 2-minute span here or so. Just not able to recover quick enough on this pass back out from Edey. And yeah, you gotta KYP, know your personnel. Mason Gillis is a great 3-point shooter. He's up over 40% on the year, and this is too much of a stunt into a dig for Edey. We're in good position. Ike's got him on the backside, and we're got Anton Watson in help, even though Fletcher Lawyer is a threat as well. But you can't leave your man like that in the corner. So this is a read that is so important for the modern day big, whether or not you are going to, if you're not a good 3-point shooter like Ike, you're not going to take this shot. I mean, he's already hit 1 in the game, but the read is the dribble handoff. The dribble handoff is going to be the more effective play right now because, okay, I got my man is a long closeout. I could probably do something here, but let me get in a guard's hands because he looks like he's got his man beat a little bit already. And if I hit him just a little bit, then he's going to have a step on his defender and put Edey in a bind, and now we got good stuff going because he's behind the ball, and we got 2 coming downhill, 1 guard, and he need help here. We got good stuff going on. So this is just a very important read for any big to be able to make. Whether or not you with the ball, shooting it, or putting it on the deck is going to be more effective than putting it back in a guard's hands and getting a DHO action or a screen action or pulling it back out and setting back that offense. Just making that read. All right, so another big thing that goes into these reads for the big right here is a selfish big or a guy who's more looking about getting my points might be tempted to rescreen right here right away off the DHO. We get the DHO, and the read is I'm either going to go rescreen or I'm going to let him work. And if I'm worried about me and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go want to rescreen and get a roll to the rim as soon as I can. But the right way to do it is to make a read. And the read is, all right, let the guard decide. I think a better option is just to let the guard decide. If he wants to come back up towards me, then I'll go ahead and set a screen for him, and then I can roll. But if he wants to go baseline, I'm just going to clog it up. Or if he wants to work like he does here and pull up a 3, I'm just going to clog it up. So here's Watson again in that short roll. In the middle of the lane is just wide open because Edey is staying home, and we get a good enough screen to hit Lance Jones to make the defender step up. And then when Edey does step up, it's just open right over top off the rim. All right, this is something that drives coaches crazy, passing the ball into the post from the top. We have the mismatch. I know you want to get the ball there, but just pass it to the wing. He's got the better angle, and he can get the ball there in a better spot. This is what Purdue does. They make you worry. Look at this backside guy right there. He takes a second peek at Camden Hyde, who's a 40% shooter from three-point. Mason Gill is a 40% shooter from three-point. Fletcher Loyer is a 40% shooter from three-point. But this help side defender right here, number 33, he takes a second peek just to make sure that Camden Hyde isn't going to start moving again. He stops moving, and then he's going to peek again right there just to make sure he's not respotting back up. And now watch, he's a half a second late getting this ball. It's all it takes. And that's how Purdue gets you. They just threaten you, and then they beat you because they're that much better, and they make you worried. He's just worried whether or not Hyde is going to go respot up again right there, and now he's late getting to the spot.